hornbeam, Carpinus orientalis. This tree is very, very interesting for me because that was the first real big one that we had in our bonsai academy. It was bigger than now. There was a big part here, which later on unfortunately died, and we thought the tree is ruined. We don't really know exactly why it died, but doesn't matter. It's not ruined. We can rescue the whole tree. Anyway, I remember this tree being so big that everybody thought this is just too big, and now it's a rather normal size tree here. And down in Split they have much bigger ones. So it is also of the size good for international sort of shows. It's just the right size, but it's a big tree, and it's very difficult for one person to carry, but which is for me also always the thing. I mean, if I cannot carry a tree alone, it's very big. Anyway, this tree has a long history by now, and you can tell from the crown that it's rather developed compared to the others. You see a lot of these branches having interesting curves because they were wired twice, I think, already, and you can see that. I believe that this kind of tree must be wired at least 3 times before it's good. And in between the wiring, you can let it grow and cut back, work with the hedge method for a while, and then wire again, and then work with the hedge method again. So you stretch this over 10 years if you have time, and then you will have a very, very, very good tree. Okay, what's good on this? Well, good is the very ancient old feeling, and it is an old tree. This is a tree that can easily be up to 100 years or so, even more. This tree was collected in the karst, which is a very, very dry area in Europe, where there's really only stones, and in between the stones there are these trees, and you more or less use all afternoon to take away the stones and somehow get the root. The good thing about them is that they can handle if a lot of roots are cut off. They will probably not die like other trees, which is good, because if they did that, you could never collect them. Anyway, it was quite a while. I mean, let's say 6, 7 or so years that this was collected, and that's for Croatian purposes. That's a very long time ago. 5 years, okay, but still, for us, a long time ago, because we now collect trees, and in 2 or 3 years later, they're already in very good quality, which is fantastic. It's a paradise, but many people think, oh, okay, I go to Croatia and I collect myself something like that. You know what, I wish you good luck. If you find something like that, take the one next to it for me, because I cannot find these. You don't go there and find. I mean, there's 100,000 of these Carpinus. They're everywhere. It's a weed, but you don't find this quality. Normally not. You must be very skilled in finding it, and then you must be a very hard worker to get it out and carry it to the car. Usually, the carrying to the car is just breaking your back. You must have good friends. Okay, it will be very strong. So we have now developed this tree. However, this is obviously a twin trunk, and the problem is the 2 twins are fighting one against the other. They are fighting for dominance. Okay, this where is the big one died is obviously the back. This does not look good, and even if we tilt that tree, it will not look much better. So let's forget this. This is the back. In the long run, we will have more branches coming here, closing this thing, and maybe we do a bit more work even here. And in the end, it will be maybe hollow after many years. That's okay. This is a powerful root, which is almost grotesque, but it's very natural and has this wonderful bark. Very often roots don't have mature bark, but this is the maturest bark on this tree. This was under the ground. It takes a long time, like 5 years, before this has a similar color than this. In the beginning, it always has this color from just being dug out, being blackish and so, or even red from the clay there. Okay, we said it's 2 twins. which are fighting against each other. And I think with this in mind, we have a solution. We make one much smaller. Well, if you look at the other video, which Sebastian did 2 years ago, I said exactly the same already. So he did shorten this one. He was much higher. So this one was higher than this one. But you see, it's only 5 centimeters or 2 inches smaller. And that is not enough. In this enormous tree, 5 centimeters is nothing. Okay, can somebody lift that tree on that side? Okay. It's okay. Yeah, fine. Okay, let me see what we did. Okay, don't drop that tree. Okay, here you see one of the simplest tricks, which, interesting enough, the books don't tell you, and most bonsai people don't know. If you have a problem like that, a situation like that, that's what you do. And you have solved the problem of 2 twins fighting for dominance. This is a dominant tree, and this is the secondary, which is subordinating himself. And their height is very different. From only 5 centimeters, we now come to about 20 centimeters difference. Okay, so that makes a radical difference. Maybe we change front slightly, coming from here a bit like that. Okay, wow, that looks pretty cool to me. That's a good front. Okay, that's it. It's done. That is a solution, and that is the future tree. Of course, we now will adjust some branches, like bending these down a bit. And the back will be filled in order to disguise the ugly back there, which eventually in 20 or so years may be hollow and be interesting again. Who knows that in 25 or 30 years this might be the front? You never know. That happens with broadleaf trees. You want these holes on these trees. We are so used to them that we don't even mention it anymore. But in orthodox Japanese bonsai philosophy, holes on broadleaf trees are not allowed like that. You don't want deadwood. You want the wounds to cover. Okay, I have good and bad news. The bad news is it will never cover. This will not cover in the next 50 to 100 years. This will always be a big hole. The good news is that it will slowly decay, but very slowly. It's hard wood. Carpinus is a very tough wood, versus others which will just fade away. This will stay for decades, but not forever. So if after 30, 40 years, this will really decay, and you will have a hole here. Or you put on wood hardener and preserve it, and that prolongs that time in another 20 years. But one day it will be hollow. So what? This is not a bonsai. This is a real tree, and in reality, very old trees do have a lot of holes, and we want these holes. The only thing is these holes should be decorative. Not just a round hole, which, like a geometric hole, but if you make a hole, and then you make it irregular. If the hole is ugly, make it uglier, make it bigger. Okay, so that is really the trick. And if you say, well, I'm sorry, but I don't believe in holes on broadleaf trees, I say, fine, go to a nursery, buy yourself a nursery-grown tree. This is not the material for you, because you're bound to have holes and wounds on that tree. But we consider these wounds to be positive. These are major features of that tree. Now, here you don't even see the wounds anymore, but you should have seen that tree 3 or 4 years ago. We have old pictures of that, when this was open wounds, just cut off. I mean, this tree here, that was 10 feet, 3 meters high or more, and we cut it and stumped it. And all these branches are new. They were not there before. Okay, so it looked like this will never ever happen, but it does happen. Okay, so I think this is the future of that tree. Now I think with that black background everybody can see it. I really love it. It's one of the most developed of these Oriental, which it should be. It's because it's the oldest. Okay, thank you.
Pissed himself.
Yeah. Can I comment the hole behind?
Yes, where is my camera? Here's my hole. Yes, the hole behind. You.
Yeah, the hole behind.
Yes.
If the hole may collect water,
Yes.
it will decay quickly. So you have to open it up a little more, just to allow the water to drain, and then take a burner and burn it. Burn it all open wood
I understand.
to make it black.
I understand. I think that's what he did. He did burn it, but
That was black last year.
yeah, but he did not make him
I
make.
didn't make,
He did. Yeah.
You need
Enough,
to open it up.
You can. On the other, which is true. On the other hand, as I said, if that ever will become a hole, is not a problem. So maybe he even wants a hole. So that doesn't matter. If that decays, because a hole could be very interesting. But yes, you're right. If you want to protect it from decaying, you must put drainage, or you drill a hole down here, down here like that.
Bigger hole.
I just want you to notice a dragon here. Can't you see the dragon? Here it has an eye. Here is an eye. Here is an eye and jaws. You see my dragon? Oh, look at him, Walter. Look at the dragon. No, you're looking at the tree. Look at the dragon, please.
The motor.
Oh, yes.
Okay, now I see the
Teeth
dragon.
and the eye.
Okay, it's very important. Yeah, I mean, this is of course a very subtle detail, which we must not miss on this tree. I understand now.
Just a